Joining us now in the player escape room is one of the A-League's most lethal weapons. Please welcome to the show Adelaide United star winger Craig Goodwin. G'day, mate. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
Mate, it's great to have you here. So, firstly, how are you? I know it's unfortunate that you're currently in isolation. How's things going? What are you doing to pass your time besides hanging out with your partner and your young son?
Yeah, to be honest, I probably just a little bit of individual training. Club provided me with some equipment, exercise bike and that sort of stuff. So I've been doing that every day to keep as fit as possible. And then just, catching up on Netflix TV series and then, like you said before, hanging out with my son, Caitlin.
What are you watching on Netflix?
At the moment, we just finished Afterlife.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, it is a good one. And started another one on Stan, Killing Eve. Just started it.
Okay, what's that about?
It's about there's this young woman who's kind of a professional killer, and they're trying to catch her and string together her murders.
Mate, sounds a bit like you on the pitch. Professional killer, mate. You go out there and there's not many teams that survive once Craig Goodwin puts a hit on them. But, yeah, very similar. But, yeah, Afterlife, mate, is fantastic, but it leaves you a bit flat, doesn't it? Once you leave here, as enjoyable as it is, it's kind of like, is that how life works out for everybody?
Yeah, it is a little bit like that. I was obviously watching it, and there's like so many funny bits and you're laughing, and then there's like a real kind of like down bit and you're like, geez, man, this is like quite depressing at the same time.
It is a massive roller coaster. Mate, you've been in outstanding form this season and your Socceroo selection validated that. I believe you would have started tonight because at the moment, two best players in the A-League, Florin Berengay, I always get in trouble for pronouncing that incorrectly, and yourself. So absolutely disappointing and super gutted. I think, Australia's super gutted for you, but also for ourselves because we're a bit greedy and we want our best players on the pitch. Who do you think can win the game for us tonight, and what's your tip?
Yeah, look, obviously it's a really, really big game. So, yeah, I think it's especially against Japan, it's one where we need a really disciplined performance first, and then from there we need, I guess, our attacking players. Your McLarens, your Boyles, your A1 Bills back in, Hrustic. You need these kind of players to then flow on and have that creativity and have that bit of brilliance. But for the most part, it's about I think getting the structures right and the system and doing your job 100%, which I'm sure everyone will do. And then from there, having that bit of brilliance to win the game.
So where will that bit of brilliance come from? So what's your tip? What will the scoreline be tonight?
I think we're going to win 1-0, and I reckon it's going to be McLaren that scores.
Okay, we'll take that. If we could lock that in now, I'm pretty sure all Australians would say we'll take a 1-0 result to take us into Saudi Arabia with a live chance of qualifying automatically.
Yep.
So, mate, going back to clubland, a lot has happened this season at Adelaide United with transfers in and out, and some of them have dragged on for quite a while, and it's probably no fault of the player, but it's just the way these things work. But the team has gone very impressively about their business, currently sitting in third spot on the table. What are your goals personally for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think from a team perspective and from a club perspective, we've been really good this year in adapting to the flow of situations. Like you said, we've lost some players, obviously two really important players in Ben Halloran and Stefan Mork. The one with Stefan did drag out a bit, and it was a bit like, is he going to go now? Is he going to go soon? And that was just to do with the exemption he needed, the visa to get into Japan. So we have done really well and adapted really well. We've had some really good team performances, and there's probably only one game this year where I can look at it and say, you know what, we were poor tonight, and that was against MacArthur. Every other game, I think we've been really good, played some good football, and perhaps not got some results that we should have. For me personally, it's been a good season to date. I've been awarded or chosen to be the captain until the end of the season. So it's more responsibility on me, which I've embraced. And it's been made easy with the group that we have. We have a hardworking group. And, for me, I think, the position we're in, we need to keep picking up as many points as possible. and try and put ourselves in hopefully the first and second position coming into the finals.
Mate, look, congrats on being the captain, but it's a pretty easy choice to pick a leader who leads by example on the pitch and puts in 100% every time. So it was smart from the gaffer. What has Coach Viet been telling the playing group? So obviously he'd be very happy with the way things have gone this year with everything that you've been up against. So what's his message been to the players?
Pretty much from day dot, it was, building on what we had accomplished last season and improving from a fitness level, which I think we have. You can see that with the amount of times we've scored late in games this year. But really just focusing on our structures and our roles within the team and making sure that no matter who's coming in, no matter who's playing, everyone knows their role. And so for me, that's the biggest thing as to why we've been reasonably successful so far this season. There's still work to do to put us into the best position possible. But his message has really just been following the style of football that we want to play. And then obviously when in the right positions, expressing ourselves and having that creativity and bringing that, that piece of brilliance, like I was saying with the Socceroos, for our attacking players, that piece of brilliance to then be brave and attack the play and try and be the one that changes the game.
Mate, phase one is let's get you out of isolation and hopefully on the pitch against Saudi Arabia and then back on the park for Adelaide United. Good plan?
It sounds like a great plan to me.
All right, mate. So, look, that's all the football business out of the way. So let's, before we get into two of the games I like to play with my guests, I want to ask you a couple of questions. So this is based on current or former teammates. And the question would be, who would you? And then there'll be three questions. You just have to give me one player for each of those questions. You ready to roll?
Yeah, let's go.
Invite to dinner.
Who'd I invite to dinner? Ryan Kiddo.
Okay. He seems like a bit of a lad.
Yeah, we have a really good relationship on the field and off the field. So he's my roommate on away trips as well. So we get along really well. And Caitlin and Emily, Kiddo's wife, get on really well.
Beautiful. All right. Trust to mind your kids or mind your son?
Trust to mind the son. It has to be a former player.
Or current. Can be former or current player. Anyone you've played with.
Former or current player.
Can't be non-playing friends or family because we know they're all great. But
I'll choose a different one. I'll say Isaias.
Yeah, of course. He looks like he's someone you can put in charge, and he not only will the kids have fun, but he'll make sure the job's done, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and take to karaoke. Is there someone that fancies themselves as a bit of a singer who's got a bit of a voice in either now or that you've played with in the past that you just can't get to stop singing? Yeah,
look, for me, karaoke, I'd like to bring the whole team because there's always people in there that are not too bad, but there's some woeful ones. So, player I'd like to take, I'll say two. I'd take Lockie Brook because he can sing, and then I'd take Mo Toure because he's very entertaining.
Mate, I've tried to get Lockie Brook on the show to sing, and he was very hesitant. So I wish I'd known this. I wish we'd had this chat before I had him on the show. But I'm going to hit him up now and say to him, I wouldn't mind a few lines of a song.
Absolutely, do it. He does actually have a very good voice.
Yeah, he did. I think at the time when we spoke to him, he'd just joined the club and he was doing his initiation song. So I think he was doing a few rehearsals. So I think he was a lot better than he was actually leading on.
Yeah, I bet.
All right, mate, let's get into the first of the two games we like to play, considering you passed that with flying colours. So this is a game we like to call Lock, Stock and Three Smoking Balls. So I'll ask you three questions and hit us with your best answers.
Okay, let's go.
If you could sign one player from the ALeague to play with you at Adelaide, who would it be? So it has to be from the ALeague. Don't worry about salary cap. Don't worry about me paying all their payments and benefits and everything else. Who would it be?
McLaren.
Okay. I seem to get that answer a lot. Why?
Because he scores goals.
That's true. Okay. He does, but so do you. So
yeah, but I think you've seen over the last 3-4 seasons, he scores 20 goals a season. So for me being a winger, if I'm able to give service to someone like that, it's going to drive my stats way up.
Mate, as good as he is, I haven't seen any free kicks like yours last week, the left footer that you curled around. So, look, as good as he is at the moment, I still think it'd be a toss-up between whether players want to take McLaren or Goodwin. So we'll leave that open to debate. If you could change one FIFA rule, not on the video game, but a FIFA rule, whether it be in the A-League or whether it be in one of the leagues that you've played in around the world, what would it be?
For me, the interpretation of the offside rule right now.
Okay. What drives you crazy about it?
The fact that you can be in an offside position, but if the player makes an attempt on the ball, you are then deemed in an onside position. I don't understand that interpretation, because the only reason you would make an attempt at the ball is to stop the player that's in an offside position from getting the ball. So to me, you're gaining the advantage by being in an offside position. That's, I just don't understand the rule from that side. That I don't think it works that well. I think it creates a lot of confusion with that type. Yeah, that's the one rule I would change.
I totally agree. And I'm curious to know, mate, so with these sorts of rules and they're rolling things out all the time, it's kind of like with COVID, with your 1.5 meters and there's this rule and that rule, and both are kind of causing you problems at the moment. But do you guys get given the list of rules and say, here's 40 pages, go and read them at the start of the year? Or is it something that they go through as a group with a summary? How do they try and get this information into the playing group?
Generally, when there's a rule change, a referee will come out and speak to the playing group or speak to each individual team and explain the new rule or the new interpretation in the wording, and then show scenarios of in the past where, let's say it's an offside scenario, where in a situation where it has been offside and why now it won't be regarded as offside.
Leave me out of it. I'm happy to come and hang and chill with the playing group whenever, but when the referee's out there explaining the rules, I'm having enough trouble watching him interpret on the pitch, let alone tell me off the pitch. So leave me out of it. Don't invite me to any of those, all right?
I won't.
And if you could be anyone for a day, who would it be? No genre pending. It can be politician, movie star, singer, anything.
Anyone for a day? I'll probably say my idol, Fernando Torres, during his Liverpool days.
Okay, so you're a big Liverpool fan?
Yeah, I'm a big Liverpool fan and a big Fernando Torres fan as well.
So, mate, it all ties in, right? The Reds are Adelaide United, the Reds are Liverpool, so it must be red in your blood.
Absolutely, and that's kind of when I do the knee slide and do the arms with the celebration. That's the Torres celebration that he did.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. All right, mate. So, Semi, you did that so easily. We're going to move into the second game that we like to call Nuno. So it's our version of Uno, if you've ever played that card game. So, and the reason we named it is I'm a big Spurs fan. So Nuno did nothing for me at the start of the year. So we wanted to get Nuno to actually work in our favour. And also we can name it after Nuno Reyes, who's killing it down at Melbourne City. But easy game, mate. Simply, we ask you 7 questions. There's 2 options for each. You just tell us which one's more applicable to you. At the end of the 6 questions, so with 1 to go, you just got to call out Nuno to avoid any penalty questions. And it's pretty simple. I do time it. I don't know why I started doing this, because it just means the players race through to try and beat their colleagues and different things. So, but the time to beat at the moment is Liam Rose from Macarthur Bulls, who did it in about bit over 22 seconds. But I'm more worried about your quality of touches and answers than I am about, basically just getting through it super quick. So if you're ready to play, we'll get stuck into it.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, first one, snow or sand?
Snow.
Home cooking or Uber Eats?
Home cooking.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Follow your head or your heart?
Depends on the situation, I would say. Generally, I would say follow your heart, but there's situations where definitely your head needs to take preference.
Great answer. Comedy or action movies?
Action movie.
Messi or Ronaldo?
I don't think you can compare both, but for personal preference of who I would like to play with, I would say Ronaldo, because he's the type of player that gets into the box, and that's the person I can feed for service.
Nice. I'll help you out. Nuno. Coffee or tea?
Big tea drinker. Always have a cup of tea with my partner Caitlin before we go to bed.
Nice, mate. Look, I'm not even going to say your time because it's not even close to Liam Rose's, but the answers were fantastic. So I think that's more important, but the title still sits with him. But let's touch on a couple of these quickly. So you said tea drinker. Why not coffee? Is it not an Adelaide thing, or is it?
Nah, to be honest, I do like both. It's more of like I'll have coffee in the morning and during the day. But when it comes to the night, I'm more excited for my cup of tea in the evening than I am for my coffees during the day.
Nice. Okay. Action movies. Name a movie, your favourite movie, and which action star do you like?
Geez. Action. This is the worst question.
On the spot. Yeah, I know. Everyone says the same thing. You know what? They say I'm good with faces and I'm good with this, but I'm not good with names and everything. So
like name a movie, I'm like, oh God, I need him in front of me to name one. And then
That's right. Just tell me the star then. Just tell me who you.
You know what? I won't even say an action. It is a little bit of an action, but I'll tell you, favorite series, Harry Potter.
Okay, awesome. My kids will agree with that. And I've watched it plenty of times. So yeah, it's a fantastic series, and it's one of those things that will probably live on like Star Wars, I think.
Absolutely, I can't wait to sit down and watch it with my little boy Ezra.
Oh mate, I took my son to Star Wars a few years ago now. He's 11, and I look back at photos, and I'd been with my family, my parents, and then look back, and it's a bit of a freak out, but it's definitely something you'll never forget. So yeah, you got plenty to look forward to, mate.
No, can't wait.
Messi versus Ronaldo. This is like when my son says to me, who's better, Dad, me or you? And I say, I've achieved more, so me currently, but you've got potential to be better than me. You've chosen Ronaldo over Messi. What in the edge?
Just because of I think for me, the style of play that he plays, and I look at as to someone I would like to play with. Obviously, Messi is ridiculous and is, yes, arguably the best player that's ever lived, as is Ronaldo. But for the style of play that Ronaldo plays, I guess more in his later years, I think he would be someone that I could certainly provide a lot of service to and get a lot of assists for.
And I would have gone with Ronaldo simply for the fact that you're more similar to Messi, and you don't want to be playing on the same side as him or trying to share the spot. So it's smarter just to have you on one side, Ronaldo on the other. So that makes total sense.
I don't think anyone has called me similar to Messi, and that's the first time. So I'll take it as a compliment, but I think it's chalk and cheese.
All right, mate. But look, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. As I said, it's very disappointing from your side of things, but not only from that, but from the Australian fans' point of view, that we don't get to see you tonight for the Socceroos versus Japan. But I know you'll be at home with the family cheering your boys on. We wish you all the best for the rest of the season with Adelaide. You're currently sitting in third, so there's still lots of potential there to end up having a great season. And we wish you all the best, mate, with your Netflix films and everything else that you're doing while you're in ISO. Let's hope you get out of it soon, and we'll check in with you later on in the year.
Thanks very much. It's been my pleasure.
Mate, great having you on the show. Speak to you soon.